Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes. For some times now, Kenya Kwanza Brigade have been accusing Musheru, ICTCS, of plans to rig out William Ruto in this year's presidential elections. And about 1 day ago, in fact, a good majority of Kenyans were also surprised when Order Secretary General Veronica Maina also blamed IEBC of being controlled by the government. So in one way or the other, Kenya Kwanza Brigade, that has all along been praising IEBC and has been praising Wafula Chebukati, is now claiming that IEBC is being controlled by the government. And they are also laying accusing fingers on Ezra Chiloba. That is also part of the plans to rig out William Ruto in this year's presidential elections. And about 1 day ago, Musheru made some remarks I want us to have a look here, for they are going to form the basis of our analysis and a discussion right now. And those remarks have actually also been quoted by the Standard newspaper. The Standard. I don't intend to rig poll, but protect Raila's votes. CS Musheru. If you go through that story, Musheru is just telling maybe Tanga or Kenya Kwanza Alliance that he does not intend to rig Raila Odinga in, but he's only there to protect Raila Odinga's votes. And actually, Musheru goes on to remind William Ruto and his foot soldiers that in 2017, actually was campaigning for them, but still he was a CS. William Ruto and his brigade actually saw nothing wrong with that, while now they are actually complaining. That's what we call some kind and form of a doublespeak. So in this video, I don't want us to dwell on the technical aspect of the ICT and Musheru's maybe input in this year's presidential elections, but I want us to look at the political aspect of what Musheru intends to achieve by making such claims in public, that is just there to protect Raila's votes. Because from those remarks, it's very clear that Musheru is actually playing politics. So I want us to dig deep to see why Musheru is making such remarks in public. In case you've bumped here for the very first time, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. Yes. The first thing I'm seeing here, Musheru is trying to assure and reassure Raila supporters who have all along been complaining that Raila's votes are always being stolen. In 2022, Musheru is just reminding them that nobody, no person will be able to steal Raila's votes in 2022 presidential elections. And that is so because some Raila supporters, simply because Raila's votes have all along been deemed stolen, some might be still skeptical that maybe his votes can be stolen again. So Musheru is just trying to reassure and assure Raila supporters that his votes won't be stolen. And I'm saying that because from some quarters again, we've been hearing of some rumors of Davis Chirchir, who has been accessing some IBC rooms. Musheru is just confirming to Raila supporters that everything is under control. And as he does that, he is in one way or the other also killing the morale of William Ruto supporters. Yes, he's actually killing the morale of William Ruto supporters so that they can see for themselves that William Ruto is not protected by the government. So anything can actually happen. But for Raila, Raila is actually protected. And that in one way or the other can make William Ruto supporters not to turn out to vote because already they shall have been told or know that even if they were to vote, William Ruto will not win. For Raila Amolo Odinga supporters, that can actually encourage them to turn out in large numbers to cast their vote for Raila Amolo Odinga because they believe Raila's votes are actually safe. That's the political objective Joe Musheru is actually trying to achieve by making those sentiments or other remarks in public. He's trying to give morale to Raila supporters, kill the morale of William Ruto supporters. And then the second thing I'm seeing here, I'm seeing a Joe Musheru admitting that in a free and fair election, Raila does not need to rig. Raila will still win. In a free and fair election, Raila will win. You don't need to rig for Raila Amolo Odinga in order for him to win. And I'm saying that because if you look at the recent statistics, Raila is actually ahead of William Ruto in many parts of this country. In fact, in about 6 of the 8 regions in the country. And then on the mountain, it's somehow a 50-50 kind of a situation. It can go to any of the sides. William Ruto, as I talk, is only rest assured of winning the Kalenjin votes. In all these other regions, Raila actually beats William Ruto. So even on that basis alone, if the polls were to be free and fair, I'm seeing nobody in this year's presidential election, I'm seeing nobody beating Raila Amolo Odinga. And that is what Joe Musheru is just actually trying to pass across. That if the elections will be free and fair, Raila Amolo Odinga will win. That's the message Joe Musheru is also passing across. You don't need to rig for Raila Amolo Odinga for him to win. He is already strong and is actually the front runner in this year's presidential elections. The third thing I'm seeing from those remarks, Musheru is also letting Kenyans know that it's not all about the people going to the ballot to cast their votes. Yes, if you are not on the lookout, your votes can actually be stolen. That's the message I'm also seeing Joe Musheru trying to pass across to Kenyans. Because for him to insinuate that is there to maybe protect Raila's votes, that is just an illustration enough that if a candidate is not actually careful, then his votes can actually be stolen. That's something coming out very clearly. And in the previous presidential elections again, a good example was what we saw in 2007. Raila Odinga had opened a margin of about 1 million votes. In fact, Raila was ahead of Kibaki with almost 1 million votes, or rather with over 1 million votes. So Kenyans left, and when they wake up the following morning, things had turned upside down. And it's widely believed and seen that the deep state actually rigged Raila Amolo Odinga out in that presidential election. So Joe Musheru is also just confirming that in Kenya's election, if you are not careful, actually your win, you can be denied, your victory can actually be stolen. And then one thing I'm seeing here again, those remarks by Joe Musheru also just confirms how hard it is to beat the government's candidate. How hard it is to beat the government's candidate. And it also just exposes on how the opposition's candidate is actually vulnerable to election manipulation. His votes can actually be stolen, and at the end of the day, they can demonstrate, but that will not change things. His votes shall have been stolen. But if you look at 2022 presidential elections, and in this channel, I do state things as they are without any fear or favor of anybody. If you look at 2022 presidential elections, I'm not just seeing any miracle or any formula that Raila's competitors will actually use to beat him in this year's presidential elections. Because just to start with the ground, Raila is actually ahead of his competitors on the ground. In terms of the ground support, Raila is ahead. And I'm saying that because look at the map of Kenya. Look at the Kenyan communities. Almost all communities, a good majority, are supporting Raila Mulu Odinga. Look at William Ruto. William Ruto only enjoys absolute support from his Kalenjin community. The gamer community is a 50-50 kind of a situation. So as it is right now in Kenya, I'm not just seeing any formula or any miracle that Raila's competitors can actually use to beat Raila in this year's presidential elections. On the ground, he's actually beating them free and square. And then with the aspect of the deep state again, then you can just see for yourself and actually judge for yourself how hard it will be to beat Raila Molo Odinga in this year's presidential elections. Those are the things I'm seeing from those remarks and sentiments by Joe Musheru. Yes. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, just as I did indicate when we were starting, in case you've bumped here for the very first time, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. Our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humbled, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. God bless you. God bless Kenya. And to any other person watching us outside Kenya for the very first time, drop a comment, let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. If possible again, subscribe, give this video a like.